Hello and welcome to Tête à Tête, France 24's flagship interview show. Our guest today is Nabil Abu Rudeineh. He's the spokesperson for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. He joins us from the presidential compound in Ramallah. Welcome to the show.
You are welcome.
Mr. Abu Rudeineh, we already have a war raging in Gaza, but do you fear the worst is yet to come? Maybe in the West Bank, maybe in East Jerusalem, maybe a third intifada.
Yes, of course, the danger is there, not just here in Palestine, but also in the region. That's why President Abbas talked with President Macron when he was here 48 hours ago. He talked with everybody in the world that there should be a ceasefire immediately, because what's happening in the West Bank and Gaza is unacceptable. It's a war against the Palestinian people. The victims are almost civilians. So what we are looking for, number one now, is ceasefire, apart from trying to send some medicine, some food to the civilians who are besieged in Gaza. The other issue which we are interested in, and that we will not allow any kind of eviction or deportation of the Palestinian people from their land. This is a red line that we don't accept. Not the Arabs will accept, nobody will accept. That's why there should be a pressure on the American side. They should pressure Israel, because maybe the Americans have a great influence on the Israelis, to stop this war and to understand that this war is not going to reach anything. There should be a ceasefire immediately. This is the starting point for not having war here and in the region.
Mr. Abu Rudeineh, do you expect Israel to reoccupy Gaza?
Gaza is besieged for the last 30 years, and you know this. Gaza is not in need of reoccupation. It's almost under occupation. That's why we need to understand, we need the Israelis and the Americans to understand very well that they should stop this war immediately, and they should change their policies. Without reaching an agreement with the Palestinian people, they will never, and we will never, live peacefully in this area. There should be a huge international, worldwide pressure on the Americans before the Israelis to stop this war. Ceasing fire now is number one. Otherwise, the whole region will be in danger, and maybe President Abbas informed President Macron 24 hours ago about this issue. I was in the meeting, and we hope that the French president will work hard to reach a ceasefire with us.
Right. So you mentioned the U.S. My understanding is that the Biden administration has asked Mahmoud Abbas whether the Palestinian Authority would be willing to rule Gaza. Is that correct? And what was President Abbas's response to the U.S. question?
First of all, since we left Amman, since the president left Amman, and the meeting with Biden in Amman was cancelled, since that day till now, we didn't talk with the Americans. The Americans should understand that they should work to solve the whole issue. Not just, we need a political horizon, not for stopping the war in Gaza, which is very important. There should be a political horizon to see what's going to happen in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, and Gaza, all together. We cannot accept any idea that doesn't go to a political horizon where we can solve all the problems. We don't want to go to solve the issue of Gaza, then the West Bank, then East Jerusalem, East Arab Jerusalem, and the war will continue, if not today, after 3 months or after 6 months. We need to solve this is an opportunity for us, for the Israelis. This is an opportunity for the Europeans and the Americans to find a final solution for the Palestinian cause according to the international legality. Two states living each by each other on the basis of the international legality, the land which was occupied in 1967 with East Jerusalem as its capital. Otherwise, Israel had been in trouble, and we have been in trouble for the last 75 years because the Americans with and the Israelis didn't understand the right way to find a solution, a peaceful, just peaceful solution.
You use the word opportunity. In the midst of all that's happening, you still truly believe in a two-state solution in the near future. It seems totally unrealistic.
This is the only solution for the situation of the Middle East and the region. Yesterday, Mr. Biden said publicly that he works for a two-state solution. He should implement this issue immediately. If the Palestinian people would understand very well that the Americans are serious, they can drag Israel and push Israel to accept this understanding by establishing a Palestinian state. A Palestinian state is good for us, for Israel, for the Americans, for the Europeans, and for the region.
Right. Speaking of the region, the countries that have normalized relations with Israel, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, have not suspended or obviously not cut their relations. Are you disappointed that they're not acting more in solidarity and might take measures?
No, we are not. This is not the issue for us. The issue for us is that Israel and the Americans should understand they need an understanding and agreement with the Palestinians. Normalization with this country or that country will not solve the issue. And in spite of that, we have good relations with all the Arab nations. They know our position. They are independent states. They can take any decision. But our understanding, our agreement is the international legality, the Arab Peace Initiative, Palestinian state with East Jerusalem, its capital. This is the only way for peace and for normalization. And if you go back to the Arab Peace Initiative, which says after having a Palestinian state, 55 Arab and Muslim countries will normalize their situation with Israel. Otherwise, you have seen for the last 75 years what's happening. We signed the Oslo Agreement, we sat with Israelis, we solved some problems. Then finally they killed an Israeli killed their prime minister Yitzhak Rabin, and the peace process stopped.
Mr. Abu Rudeineh, the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said this Wednesday that for him, Hamas is not a terrorist organization, but a patriotic liberation movement fighting to protect Palestinians. Do you agree with him?
No, this is their policy. Our policy is that the PLO is the only representative of the Palestinian people, and we cannot go. We are not going to talk about Hamas or anything else. We are talking about the future of the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people, under its representative, the PLO, and this is anyone has to talk. They should talk with us and listen to us. Otherwise, situation will continue here and there.
Right. We've seen protests, including in Ramallah, against President Abbas, accusations that the Palestinian Authority is not doing enough to defend the Palestinian rights. And therefore, Hamas is actually doing what the PA should be doing, resisting Israel. What is your response to this criticism and to the fact that in the eyes of many Palestinians, Hamas is the actual representative?
You know, this question has been asked by me, several people. You can ask your representative here. The French ambassador was here yesterday, and where I am sitting, and the consul general. And Ramallah is more safer than Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. And I challenge everybody to come and see Ramallah. There is no criticism. We are a democratic state. Like your people in France, demonstrations are every day in Paris, and in spite of that, that doesn't mean this is a bad thing. What we are saying that our people has the right to talk about anything, but I can assure you that Ramallah is more safer than any city in Israel, and the demonstrations are peaceful. If they are peaceful, I haven't seen any, I can tell you for sure, the last 15 days, I haven't seen anything, because everybody in the Palestinian streets wanted a ceasefire in Gaza in order to end the suffering of our people. They wanted to see ceasefire in the West Bank as well. So far, more than 100 Palestinians were killed by the Israeli army in Jenin and Nablus and Jerusalem and in many since October the 7th.
Right. In the West, Mr. Abu Rudeineh, many people don't really understand why Palestinians and the Palestinian Authority are not denouncing the killings of Israeli civilians, the gruesome killings on October 7th. Are you clearly condemning them as terrorist actions?
Look, the Palestinian representative was in Cairo in the Arab League. All the Arabs said they condemn killing any civilian, whether here or there. This is the Arab position. This is the position of our president. This is the position of our people. Killing civilians are not accepted by anyone.
Mr. Abu Rudeineh, thank you very much for answering our questions from the Mukata, as the presidential compound is known in Ramallah. And thank you all for watching this edition here on France 24.